Finding the right person for the job isn't easy. Just ask someone who hired a drama coach to be an IT guy.
Yeah, I'm having trouble logging in.
I'm not buying it. Say it again, this time with feeling.
I can't log in?
Come on, man. I want to feel your struggle.
But if you've got an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can bundle your policies, which could save you hundreds.
Now, like your life depends on it.
I can't log in!
Yes, we'll make an actor out of you yet.
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.
I'm hungry. Hello, and welcome to another episode of PsycKicks. My name is Liv. This is M. Say hi.
I'm glad our intro's super long so that I can finish eating my Belvita. This is a granola bar.
It's some sort of multi-grain snackum, if you will.
They're chocolate flavored.
So's your mom. Sorry.
True.
Oh, we're psychic mediums, best friends, twin flames, and business professionals. Also, comedic geniuses.
Are we talking about Peggy? Or we're doing a bed?
We're going to do both.
Oh, we're doing both in this one.
We could do both of them in the bed. I'm sorry.
Do what? Your
This
mom?
is our third podcast today, guys. And we're excited.
Yeah, the spoopy stuff is to come.
Because we're
stuff you're waiting for. Also, you're going to hear my rapper the entire time because I'm eating Belvita granola bars.
We've been down here since 10. It's now almost 2. So it's a good time. Today we're going to be talking about Peggy the Doll and what's his name?
Dennis Hoff.
Dennis Hoff. I keep wanting to call him Jim Hoff. I
wanted to call
why.
him David Hoff, like David Hasselhoff. I'm sorry.
So
I wrote that in our video. I was like, this name can't be David. That's too perfect. I looked it up. It's Dennis.
Got it. Do his pecs just like move and you can shoot rockets through them?
From SpongeBob the movie. Mm-hmm. We're brainwashed by SpongeBob. You guys know that?
That's why some of our viewers like us, and probably others why they don't. Anyways.
I think they like us for the fact that we're weebs.
I thought they liked us because we're just likable.
Because of the dad jokes.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, we already put out a super cool video on the YouTubes, depending on your demographic of how you speak, and it was pretty cool. We reacted to Sam Colby visiting the Haunted Museum of Zak Bagans, and since you can only do one video and one podcast on reacting to the things as psychic mediums, if you guys didn't hear that the first time.
It was Liv's brilliant idea for us to research the scary things and actually give you factual information instead of the information that comes from our head.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing today. We covered the Dybbuk box. We also covered, or will be covering, the Devil's chair, the Devil's rocking chair. I think that's
the
what
Devil's
they call it.
rocking chair, my dude. It's a good one. It really was terrifying.
It sounds like a national park.
It was terrifying.
Yes.
I'm not usually scared for those types of things.
No, we had a hard time getting through it, honestly. Not going to lie. But I've been given the important task of covering Peggy the Doll, and that's what we're going to start with today because I actually really like her. So I'm going to start with the disclaimer that everyone else literally puts everywhere. So I learned a couple weeks ago that the nickname for somebody of the name Margaret is Peggy, which makes no sense to me, but M explains it.
I looked it up because I was like, that's weird. It translates from Margaret to Meggie, and then it translates to Peggy, which is why how they got Peggy from an M name.
Which makes me just want to laugh because you imagine your name is Margaret, and then someone wants to make Margaret even like cutesier and just puts it as Meggie, and then it's like your great uncle Tom at like a barbecue, and he's like, "Hey, Peggy, come here," and you're like, "It's actually with an M," and he's like, "No, it's not. You're 7. You don't know what letters are."
I feel like we went to school with someone whose name was Margaret, but they called her Maggie.
I would think that
would make more sense.
It makes so much more sense. I don't understand how you get Peggy except from great uncle Tom at the barbecue.
Yeah.
It definitely is an old dude thing that I think is how it was birthed. Anyways, we were at a psychic fair and I just like had a That's So Raven moment where I was like, wait, did I call Peggy Margaret when we were doing the video? And I swear to God I did, but M says that if I did, it was not caught on film, and I'm just haunted by this.
Or is at the end, because I haven't gotten to the end of that video editing of, our reaction yet.
Yes. But anyways, that video had to be split into a whole bunch of parts, which is why we're doing these. And I think that's what Em said. But it's podcast number 3, and I'm not going to eat my chocolate Belvita thingies because I don't want to crunch in your ears. So we're going to talk about Margaret the doll because I don't want to call her Peggy. I might a couple times, but anyways,
she doesn't want to be called Peggy.
Yeah.
You haven't said that in the podcast yet. So if you haven't watched anything else, you would not know yet.
Sorry. Thank you for being the person that can consolidate my thoughts and put them into words.
That's why we're talking about how Margaret went to Peggy, because she wants to be called Margaret, not Peggy. She finds it annoying.
Mm-hmm. Margaret or Marjorie. Marjorie's also a name, but I'm not sure about that one. I'm just going to stick with Margaret for right now because I heard
makes sense. So
weird, scary things a while ago, and I'm just done with it now. I like Peggy. She's nice, Margaret. So this is your PSA, because I guess people that look into her eyes get all, like, jimmied up. They're, like, experience. One woman, I guess, had a heart attack, and I'm not here to invalidate anyone's experience, but she had a heart attack, and she attributes said ailment to be
looking at Peggy in the eyes.
Yeah. Look at me. In my eyes. Sorry.
Yeah. It is acclaimed that people who look this doll in the eyes get chest pains or heart problems.
Yeah.
So
they get nausea and severe headaches accordingly. But I literally wrote, give a PSA because maybe looking at her isn't the only thing. Because I did listen to a podcast about Robert the doll, and they gave a PSA about Robert because if you talk about him.
I thought it was Harold the doll. Because you told me that you have to say.
There's too many dolls to remember.
I think you were talking about Harold because that was the one where you have to say, hello, Harold, and goodbye, Harold.
Whichever
his name is Harold.
Whichever one of the boy dolls that you like.
It's not Robert the doll. I know that.
If you hear, okay, it is Harold. Does Harold have longer hair? I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure he's like a baby doll.
Oh, that little weird thing?
I think so.
Ugh.
I think that's the doll.
Sorry.
But that one is like, you see the doll and there's this like black mass of weird things behind it.
Okay.
So that's
anyways,
not like Robert the doll.
Well, I listened to podcasts on both of them, and one of them, if not both, the creators gave a PSA of, I'm sorry if you listen to this and bad things happen to you. Because apparently they're so strong and scary that things can happen to you just listening about it. So I figured, I don't know why, if you stare into her beautiful blue eyes that you get cursed, why would it be different if you're hearing us over like the sound waves, you know? So I'm just going to extend that courtesy to all of you that if you don't want to have random chest pains, nausea, or excruciating
indigestion.
Headaches.
Sorry.
Pepto-Bismol. I don't remember the whole commercial though, but I remember it talks about like diarrhea too. So gonna need to put that there. Anyways, that's your thing. So the first article that I read literally was titled, quote, promiscuous presence. And I just wrote, lol, fuck off.
Wow, that's annoying as shit.
Right? I'm all about alliterations, but.
Well, also, let's talk about how disrespectful that shit is.
Oh, no. Well, it is because maybe I should we gave a recap in the recap of the recap. So.
No, save it. Don't spoil it. They'll figure it out.
Do you want me to ask you to talk to Peggy too, or no? Do you want to?
I don't know if I can talk to her.
You're really
gonna have
sassy.
to like stop it for me to do that.
Well, I'm just
because it's gonna be a lot of me trying to go around the scary parts because I have a lot of sexual trauma.
Yeah, but she's not scary though.
I realize that, but there's a lot of things that I'm going to block out because of what happened to her.
All right. Well, then I'll just go through it. And if you have any interjections like I had, like literally every 2 seconds in the last videos or podcasts, go for it. But I just thought I literally wrote fuck off because when I was doing the video with Em for the reaction with Sam and Colby to Peggy, she just gives me this feeling of, I will fuck you up. Also, you're stupid. You don't understand anything about me, and it annoys me. I think I gave the idea of Boo Radley from To Kill a Mockingbird of like people don't understand him, so they just make this ridiculous scheme of how he's a bad person or a weird recluse and all of this other BS, and they just don't understand because they're ignorant. Anyways.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Her room, does she keep things out of it? Like dark things?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's really interesting because you know how in their reaction video, she's telling me that you have to say, hello, Peggy, and then you have to say, goodbye, Peggy. She says that you don't have to do that for her sake. You have to do it for the things waiting for you outside.
I'm really glad that you said that because that is one of my theories.
Okay. So I was like, that's weird. I was not thinking about that, but thank you for the information.
Mm-hmm. So somebody wrote on the internet, too, underneath the title of Promiscuous Presence was, just looking at Peggy the Doll may cause mild to extreme discomfort. And I was like, that sounds like hot sauce.
Yeah.
If you try this hot sauce, you may
From Taco Bell.
experience mild to extreme discomfort.
Jesus Christ.
I just thought that was funny. Like, how mild to extreme? That's like 0 to 100 real fast. Mm-hmm. And you only put that on like a Scoville scale, not a doll.
God.
It made me think about that. Anyways, I also was annoyed because in one of the other sources I was looking at, they had a picture of her. And in a lot of the pictures, if you guys don't know what she looks like, she kind of looks like an American Girl doll a little bit because she's larger. But she's wearing like this white sort of older styled nightgown looking blouse t-shirt thing, and she has blonde hair with like that's cut into a bob, and she has like super blue eyes. Like before we even saw her eyes doing the reaction video, she was like, I have beautiful eyes. And then when we saw it, because they took off like the blur over her eyes on the video, I was like, oh damn, you're right. But they usually have like, I saw 2 pictures of her. One of them she had like a cross necklace on, and then another one they just had like some black rosary beads on her, and that's like so last century. You know what I'm saying? Put like
she has a
chain
rosary
on her.
around her.
She needs to have a chain. Just with a P on it.
Well, I mean, I don't think she needs a rosary. She's the one keeping the dark things out.
I think to an extent that is true. But I was annoyed because one of the sites, instead of just like, you know, with the annoying cross or like rosary necklace, they blacked her eyes out with Photoshop. And I was like,
always.
Literally.
I felt weird about doing it in our thumbnail because I was like, this is so dumb, but people are going to be so angry if I don't do it.
It's so annoying because literally the first thing she said to me was, I have beautiful blue eyes. And then I was like, that's weird. And then I saw her eyes and I was like, it's weird, but it's true.
Because we posted that TikTok that went absolutely bonkers, and it's like, has this blonde doll in it, and it's not her at all. And people are like, how dare you put this on the internet without a disclaimer? And I'm like, that's not who you think it is.
Yeah, they're like, you cursed my family, I'm dying.
100% not the same thing. And I can tell you didn't watch the video because you would know.
Yeah, it's like a little kid in water, and you're like, just stand up. And they're like, no, I needed a floaty. And it's like, no, you don't. You have legs. Sorry.
Which also with that room with dolls, my spirit guides were explaining to me, because I was like, it's weird that it's all these ventriloquist dolls that are in there. And they're like, it's because the comedians that have the ventriloquist dolls create personalities for them, which is why it kind of like embodies this thing and makes them like weird haunted things.
Yeah, we can talk about that at the end if we want, because I feel like this might be a little shorter.
Well, yeah. But I just wanted to point it in there because we're talking about the weird doll room with the blonde girl.
Mm-hmm. Well, just remind me, though, so I don't forget.
Sounds good. I'll remember.
So, Peggy the Doll, a.k.a. and henceforth going to be referred to as Margaret, became famous after a woman after a woman asked a paranormal investigator by the name of Jane Harris to take the doll from her. And the woman who asked Jane Harris to take Margaret from her claimed that once she acquired the doll, she lost all luck and peace in her life, and was like, please take this. She
lost luck. Interesting.
I don't know how you lose luck.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes it happens to be upon you, and you're like, cool beans, I got an extra taco at Taco Bell, and they didn't catch it. You know?
Sounds like manifestation to me.
When you get 10 chicken nuggies instead of 9, or like 11 instead of 10.
Yeah, when they double stuff your mini muffin package instead of only putting 4 or 5 in there.
Yeah.
You get 10.
It's great.
That's the luck I'm looking for.
Uh-huh. But I guess her muffin packages did not have
muffin package.
An extra muffin, and she was like, I believe it is this doll. No, I'm kidding, because bad things happened. So this woman that I could not find the name of bought Margaret at a car boot sale, because this is in England. She originated across the pond. Everyone's going to hate
Interesting.
me for saying that, but that's fine. I have to
So-
entertain myself.
This doll was owned by someone else, and then she purchased the doll, or was purchased from like a shop?
Margaret was purchased from a man who was selling her at a car boot sale, and I equate that to being like a flea market in England.
Got you. Because usually things get haunted because they're around energies, so it would have to be around someone, and you're alluding to the fact that this woman isn't the one haunting the doll.
Correct.
Got it.
So this woman in England bought Margaret from a car boot sale. And I don't think that I read this, but for whatever reason, when I see this in my psychic medium mind, I see that she bought it from a guy or bought the doll from a guy. But I don't remember if it said the woman that originally had Peggy bought it from a man at a car boot sale. I don't think the word man was in there, but I could be wrong. Anyways, so this woman lost all of her luck and muffins, extra muffins, and her peace of mind. I think it's peace of mind, but I think it's also physical peace. So because she lost all of these things and weird stuff started happening, she was like, please, Jane Harris, paranormal investigator of England or the British area, please take this off my hand. And she was like, cool beans, that sounds like a fun time. But before Miss Harris got the doll from the woman, the woman who originally bought Peggy, tried having a priest exorcise Margaret's spirit, but to no avail.
Out of the doll or of this girl?
Out of the doll.
Oh, why?
She was like, I got this cute doll that I really liked at a flea market, and now it's ruining my life. I have no peace, and I'm
So
not
she just
lucky.
had bad luck, and she associated with the doll?
Yes.
Interesting.
Because I guess she would like move it to different rooms of her house and it still wouldn't go away, to the point where a mysterious illness coupled with hallucinations plagued the woman. So she finally sought out Harris once she recovered from her unexplained illness to take it from her. She was like, I don't know what to do with this, and you're a paranormal investigator, so here you go. And Jane Harris was like, cool beans, sick trade, guys.
Is Margaret doing that? Or
That's
is it just situational?
I don't know.
'Cause I'm like, why would she do that?
I'm not entirely sure. So I can't do it while I'm reading.
I got you.
It's hard for me.
I know, you have to switch.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is real, because talking to human spirits is interesting. I have a hard time talking to human spirits because the way they speak is very simple, and my brain does not work in a simple way. She makes me feel like she clairsentiently felt energies from Margaret that made her like not feel well. I don't know if that
anger.
makes sense. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like she was like this woman that owned this doll was very clairsentient and was picking up on the energies that the doll like absorbed. So it's not that the doll is necessarily haunted, because nothing like weird like being thrown across the room happened, right?
No, it's just that she had this horrible sense of malaise coupled with hallucinations.
Yeah. I feel like she just like psychically was picking up on the horrible things that happened to Margaret, because that's what she's making me feel.
Do you think she trapped herself in that doll? I know in the video, Margaret literally said, I'm not trapped here. I literally chose to be here because of a bad thing that happened to her, which is interesting. So
What are you going to say? Because they're explaining something to me.
yeah, I just don't like saying it because
I don't think she's attached to... In a video or a podcast that you're going to get about the chair, I talk about attachments because my spirit guides are explaining to me what attachments are. I don't think she's attached to the doll. However, a piece of her is. Does that make sense?
yeah, it's the bad parts that she didn't want to have to go places.
Because I'm really interested in like DID, and DID is like dissociative identity disorder. And when you develop DID, you usually do it when you're a child and you have repetitive trauma happening between like these very young ages. And what happens is your personality doesn't fully integrate with who you are. So you integrate with multiple personalities because your brain uses those to deal with things. It's almost like a piece of her personality because she was like, with all of this trauma, kind of attached itself to this doll. So it's not like her soul, it's just a piece of it. And that's her kind of attaching herself to this doll was comforting to her. It helped her. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it's weird because it's not like the doll was hers. The doll is hers now in the sense of that she's chosen to put that piece of herself there. But I think it's interesting that you used DID to explain it, because what I wanted to say was, disclaimer, we're going to talk about sexual assault, but that's all we're going to say.
This is your trigger warning.
Well, no, that word for me is just triggering. So,
well, it's triggering for everyone.
Okay, good.
It is good to give the people a trigger warning.
So if you don't want to listen to just the idea of it, maybe just go forward like 5 or 6 minutes and then go back to where you ever need to be. Anyways, so when we did the reaction video, this blonde woman stepped forward and she's like in her 20s, late 20s maybe, and she talks about how I believe she lost her life to like a sexual assault, and was just fucking pissed. If you guys ever watched Twilight, she used Rosaline's story to, I think it's Rosaline. She used Rosaline's story to explain hers to me, which is interesting. And she's like, I had fucking unfinished business to do because I was going to make this man's life a fucking living hell. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I was able to cross over, but I feel like the pieces of her from that experience and from the horrible things that she had to deal with were put in that doll, because she's like, I don't even want to take them with me to heaven.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how I'm able to talk to her, because I talk to her on my right-hand side, which means that she's passed over. Mm-hmm. But she definitely is like, I'm here in this doll for a reason, and I'm not trapped. I'm just like, it is for a reason. I don't entirely know about it and wholly.
The same way that there's that old woman with the Dybbuk box, which you guys will get in a different podcast as well.
That makes more sense.
She's not split, because I know every time we talk about this, it's just easier to explain to people that a piece of her is there. She's not split. It's just time doesn't work the same way. So it's like she lived this lifetime in this doll. However, she's also living in spirit, because this thing with this doll already happened, is happening, and will be happening all at the same time, because time already exists and time's already laid out.
Yeah. So you just have to understand separation is an illusion, but for you to understand kind of how we feel and how they explain it to us, they use physical things, but it's not physical.
Yeah. So like the best way to explain it, it's like she's being recorded. This is a video of what happened with this doll.
She tells me that keeping those pieces of her here helps people hear, though, but I don't know how. Is she going to tell you?
Well, she's already been telling me. I feel like it relates to people who have gone through similar things.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of sexual trauma, but it's not in my lifetime. And she's like telling me about it.
Mm. Yeah.
But in a caring way. Because she's like, you understand it, even though you have no idea because it happened to you in a past life. But like, I understand what your soul has gone through. And then is like comforting me in the senses of that. But it's like trauma, which is why I was shaking my head. Because I was like, we're not going to talk about this. We're not going to acknowledge this is happening. It's fine.
Yeah. Trying not to cry.
Yeah, I know. Me too. Because I'm like, ooh, I don't like this.
Yeah, because I don't know why I feel comforting that someone was able to put like that horrible piece of their soul into something and still like be okay.
Well, that's why she's okay. Because she's a helping hand for the people that also went through it.
Yeah, but I don't know how that physically relates.
Physically relates to what?
To people being here now and going through things like that.
I don't know. She shows me like her reaching out her hand and other people reaching for that hand, and gold light happens. And then you get this feeling of peace, an understanding.
Is she like a beacon for people?
I don't know what you mean by a beacon, but she's also explaining the reason why she's in this museum is people know about her story. They don't know it fully because people like to distort things to make them scary, which is why she's so angry about people making it scary. She put this thing in here because people are aware of her soul in there so that she can be that impact. Does that make sense? There's like things missing with that story, but that's the thing that she's making me feel.
Yeah, I feel like her being in there is for whatever reason, helpful to people that were like her or experience things like that, but I don't entirely know how. Which is why I like her.
She's telling me that this is one of the reasons why we're covering this story.
Yeah, I'm just trying not to
cry.
cry.
We're supposed to tell people about her story because it makes an impact for them. Because she's not angry right now.
No, she wasn't even angry when we were talking.
I know, but she has a different demeanor when we were doing the reaction video.
Yeah, the reaction video was more of like a mask.
Yeah.
Of like, I'm too cool for school, fuck you, I'm going to call Sam a little boy because technically he is. But also...
Yeah, because now she's like blue and like watery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how this spiritually relates. They're kind of just telling me to go, like, just keep going through it. Just go through the stuff that I have written down. Because the way I'm experiencing it is like clairsentiently, and it's weird, and I don't know how. They're like, you don't need to have the answers to everything, is basically what they're telling me.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to say what we said. So, okay. Anyways, but it freaks me out. So, I guess they tried to exorcise Margaret's spirit, but to no avail. And I was thinking about this when I was researching, because I don't have these chest pains or like weird things that people say that they've experienced looking at her. Even when I was doing research too, because I was like, I don't know, this is weird. And she's like, well, yeah, because it's not your thing. This isn't what I do. But I was wondering why they wouldn't be able to exorcise Margaret's spirit out of the doll. It's because she's not actually in there. It's just, like you said, a piece.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're telling me it's like an imprint. Like if you were to leave a stamp, she's like, it's just a stamp of me. Because I'm thinking spiritually, how is it that you're able to go to another, like how is it that you're able to go into heaven? I feel like you'd have to be a complete soul. And she's like, well, you guys are just explaining that separation is an illusion. She goes, but you are right that it isn't actually me. It's just a stamp, like a fingerprint.
Mm-hmm. It's like a video recording of her.
Oh, I'm going to cry.
I know you've been trying to cry for like...
trying not to cry.
Me too.
It's interesting because I talk about all of the things that happen and that like sometimes bad things happen to people that you just are like, why is this happening? I don't understand. And the whole reason of existing is to learn the difference between sympathy and empathy. And she's like, that, like what you say, how you don't have free will sometimes.
Yeah.
She's like, yes and no. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately about if you have a soul contract, do you actually have free will? And you're like, well, our sense of free will is our ability to choose no matter, but that ability to choose doesn't change the outcome or the final destination, which is why it's, yes, we have free will, but do we actually have entire free will of where we can change things?
Yeah, the way that I view it is it's like our soul contracts allow us to have decisions that we have to make. Those decisions come to us. That's the thing that is written. However, it is our choice on how we deal with those things. So that's why you can have either choice. However, you're still going to have another choice come back to you because it is fated that you're going to have to make a choice.
Yeah. So the difficult and bad things that happen, like the bad things that happen to good people, quote unquote, is because it's already been written there. And those events are like fingerprints.
Yeah.
They're unique and individualistic to you, but you can't get rid of them. You can't change them.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Glad they could explain that to you because it's really hard to explain time to people.
Yeah. Well, because time is like not a thing for them. You can
well, it is a thing. It's just
it,
not in the way that we think it is.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess that's probably why the exorcism didn't work. But I guess after Jane Harris, the paranormal investigator in England, acquired the doll from the woman that was being quote unquote ailed by her. 4 days after being in Margaret's presence, Jane Harris, the paranormal investigator, began experiencing extreme fatigue and malaise. And that so much so that she like couldn't get out of bed for days, like physically couldn't move. And her fellow investigator, Hazel, had to come to her house and remove the doll. And once the doll was out of the house, Jane Harris went back to normal. She was like, it was fine. I was great. It was okay. They just had to put that thing back where it came from. So after removing the doll, she decided to post a Facebook video with Margaret. And that is how Margaret, or Peggy the Doll, became famous.
On what?
Facebook.
Facebook. Okay.
Yeah. So she originated somewhere. An old woman or a woman bought her from a man at a flea market in England, and then Jane Harris ended up getting it because a priest couldn't exorcise the attached soul of the doll. And then she's like, cool, this is great. I'm going to figure out what's haunting this doll because I'm a paranormal investigator. But after 4 days, she's like, the life is being sucked out of me. And then she's like, after removing the doll, I'm going to make a video with it because I'm not dead yet. You know?
Yeah, just as weird as how the Dybbuk box got into Zak Bagans' hands as well.
Yeah, so that's how she became famous, is from a Facebook video. And it's interesting. So I guess after posting this Facebook video, a medium called Harris to say that the soul within the doll is restless, frustrated, and was persecuted in life, which is literally what I said in the video.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not know that because Sam and Colby didn't say anything in it.
No, they did.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, they say, mediums say it, that there's a restless soul that was persecuted, sorry.
Interesting. So experts from Jane's social media group, so the Paranormal Investigators social media group, plus specialized members of Peggy's social media group, which I think is interesting. Like, does Peggy the Doll have a social media group, or is like, because this is from 2 different sources. I tried to cross-analyze 2 or 3 different sources to take the things out of whatever and, put the things that matched up together. So anyways, long story short, the experts from either Jane's paranormal investigative team themselves and or social media groups designed just for, like, I don't know, like when you have a dog, like your dog has a really cool like Instagram, and like Peggy has an Instagram. I don't know her like famous persona. They deduced that the soul of a woman who died in the 1940s of a respiratory illness is the one who is inside of the doll. And the internet likes to say, most notably, that they believe the respiratory illness that this woman died of is asthma. It's the asthma, I'm sorry. And that she is reportedly Jewish with ties to the Holocaust and hates clowns.
Who was this woman?
This is apparently the woman that's inside of Peggy the Doll. This is apparently Margaret. They're like, she is a woman who died in the 1940s of a alleged respiratory illness, most hypothesized as asthma, that she is reportedly Jewish with ties to the Holocaust, and that she hates clowns, and she will affect your dreams.
Yeah. Is any of that true?
I mean, let's just be real. I'm quite sure that I would hate clowns too.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, that's probably true.
So, same girl. Anyways, I put, lol, made a clown joke. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I was reading this, and I don't know why, but I'm nervous that if people listen to this podcast, they will give it to the people that own Peggy, which is Zak Bagans, which is fine. But I just don't want, like, what we say to be used against her, because she's literally in a 24-hour video surveillance room in a box. And that is what they wanted her to be in because of all of the weird stuff that apparently happens around her. And I was like, man, if they, like, get a hold of that she doesn't like clowns, which I guess they already know anyways, but I was like, are they going to make her room into clowns to, like, make it torturous for her?
Oh, I don't think he would do that.
Well, it's funny because I was thinking about this while I was reading it. So it was just, random dumb thoughts in my head. And Margaret was standing there. And what was I going to say? That's just like a scared thought that ran through my mind of, oh, no, I don't know if I want to say this on the internet because I don't want him to be mean to her. And she literally was like, nah, they're already a bunch of clowns.
Oh, God.
And I was like, oh, and that doesn't make sense to have that weird irrational thought because they would know that she doesn't like clowns because that information came out before Zak Bagans acquired her.
Well, if they put clowns in there because of what we said, people would know why they were doing that, and that's
not nice.
Disrespectful. So they would know that it was a literal hit on being disrespectful to the
Yeah,
soul.
but they already have her in a giant room that's really scary.
Yeah, but
that's
they don't
disrespectful.
understand that.
Oh.
They don't understand that that's disrespectful.
Well, if this does get to Zak Bagans, because the internet works in weird ways, I guess.
She's saying that because we got tweeted at by Zak Bagans, so she's pooping her pants a little bit.
Literally, I screamed, and I'm not somebody, you know, like in elementary school when like a weird noise would happen or like someone dropped a book and all the kids in the class would scream. I was the one kid that was like, you guys are dumb. Why are you screeching like little tiny banshees? That's so unnecessary. But when Zak Bagans tweeted at us and someone told me in a YouTube comment, because I didn't think our Twitter would even do anything like that, I screeched so loud and immediately got up to run to my future husband, and he came running in the house and was like,
"Can you not scream? I thought you were dying."
He literally was shaking because he was so scared that I screeched, because I'm not a person that screeches, and if I do, it's for a reason that is probably...
Zak Bagans tweeting us.
He's like, the last time you screeched like that, Sniffles, our cat, was hanging upside down in a closet with her toenails stuck in between the little bars that you put like the metal shelves on, and couldn't get down. And I needed someone to help me because I didn't know what to do. And he's like, I thought the dog was having like a seizure. You were on fire, or a child had stuck in a fork into an electrical outlet, and we don't even have a child. He's like, I am about to have a heart attack. I need to sit down. And I was like, I also am about to have a heart attack.
You need to sit down because what I'm about to tell you is very crazy. Zak Bagans tweeted us.
So if this reaches Zak Bagans, Bagel Bites, I'm sorry, I can't. You know why I'm calling you that. And anyways, I'm going to stop talking like this is happening. But she wants a room that looks like Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Which, if you really want to, like, make your museum like scary, it would be more scarier walking into a tea party with this supposed haunted doll, you know?
Honestly, it would, but that's what she wants. So if you want or feel so inclined to change her surroundings, she would appreciate it. Like, think Breakfast at Tiffany's Audrey Hepburn. That's the vibe she wants her room to be, not weird dolls that aren't haunted that are painted scary.
Also, I feel like she doesn't need to be in a box. What do you think?
She's telling me the box helps the people that are already affected.
I see.
It's for their protection, not hers.
Not to keep her in.
Yes, it's to keep, yeah. Anyways, we'll get to that.
Get to that.
So when Jane Harris, the British PI, acquired the doll, she is quoted saying, like, you know, I am a believer of these things, but to be scientifical, I need to approach this from the most skeptic way possible. So I had, like, heard the things that the woman had said about, you know, Margaret, and I want to be as non-biased as possible. But she has, while Peggy was in her possession, I think that's hilarious. Oh, how the tables have turned. The turns have tabled. Is that what it is? Anyways, she had documented over 80 cases of unexplained illnesses in people that were within Peggy's vicinity, or had seen her and then walked away, or saw her on a video, things like that. And like we said, those include chest pain, nausea, debilitating headaches, and if you're excited about Pepto-Bismol commercials, diarrhea.
Indigestion.
Upset stomach, diarrhea.
That's really the only thing you need to worry about. Possession is the
Only at Metro by T-Mobile, you can upgrade to 5G and get more savings with the lowest price on one line of unlimited 5G. Just $40, period. That's it. Taxes and fees included. Plus, more choices with the largest selection of free 5G phones from brands you love, like Samsung. Switch and save more. Only at Metro. Lowest price versus major national prepaid brands. The fraction of users greater than 35 gigabytes per month may notice reduced speeds, and Metro customers may notice reduced speeds versus T-Mobile due to prioritization. Video streams and SD requires eligible port-in and plan. See store for details.
Have you heard? Amazon is now hiring for their new site opening soon in New Albany. Be one of the first to take advantage of launching a new career at one of the best workplaces in the world. Being a part of Amazon includes great benefits and competitive pay, plus many opportunities for advancement. So get a new job today and kickstart a new career tomorrow. Learn more about the perks of working at a new Amazon site. Go to amazon.com/start now. Amazon is proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
So I guess in addition to being bedridden with malaise and having your friend have to come over and get this haunted doll out of your house, she decided to do like a pendulum seance session where they used the pendulum to get information from the spirit of the doll or that was in the doll. And Harris was going to share that information that she wrote down on the notepad during the pendulum session. But the next day when they went to go get the notepad to do reviews and like, I don't know, whatever, share the information or publish it or whatever, process it, they couldn't find the notepad. They were like, oh man, where did that go? And everyone was like, nope, it was here. And I think they did like the pendulum thing in a basement. I think I remember something about a basement. Why do people do creepy things in creepy places? It's so stupid. Anyways, maybe I read it wrong.
I was touching that pendulum. Because it wasn't Margaret.
Not gonna say anything because
What I
don't
see-
want to talk to dark things.
What I see is her holding this pendulum, and then someone's hand comes from behind her and moves it.
That's
or moves
disgusting.
herself, like manipulates her to do it.
That's disgusting.
Which I've never seen like manipulation like that through a pendulum before.
It's like her shadow of her hand, but it's not.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're like, it's because she was scared, so obviously she wasn't talking to the spirit of this doll. She was talking to the thing that she was scared of.
I don't think it's that she was scared. It's just that, what are you looking at? Don't fucking do that.
Sorry, I'm looking at the crawl space because I saw something in there. It's
Duh.
fine.
I told you last time that you were sitting by the crawl space. How did
Yeah,
I get...
and then you popped a squat next to the crawl space.
Damn it.
It is next to the outlet, so.
Anyways, they couldn't find the notepad with all the hot deets and the tea spilled on it. Oh, that's funny because it's Britain. Sorry. Anyways, they found it in the rafters somewhere. Maybe that's where I was reading the basement, is the notepad was in the rafters, precariously placed, just balancing there. And Jane Harris was like, I feel like she doesn't want me to share her secrets on the internet. Too late, I guess. So that's weird.
Interesting.
And then, I guess, in addition to the medium that called Harris after she put the Facebook video on, Facebook, there was another medium named Lindy, and she posted things that she learned about Margaret on a Facebook post too, because I guess this is when Facebook was cool, and experienced her dog barking in her face for no reason, just couldn't get the dog to stop barking in her face. And her face got very hot and flushed. And she was like, I feel like I wasn't alone, which is weird. So my dog's barking in my face. I feel like I have sunburn. I don't think it was sunburn, just like hot. And she's like, I don't feel alone anymore. So she felt that Peggy didn't want her secrets being told or whatever it was. Oh, that's so funny. She said it's not secrets. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's why she's
the book
upset.
got lost. Yeah, sorry, I thought that was obvious, but apparently
No,
it's not.
this morning
Information.
I have to say things out loud because it helps me with channeling for whatever reason.
Oh, it's the same with me.
That's why I don't like texting people things.
Mm.
I need that. It's just me as a medium. I need to talk to people. Anyways, I was wondering about this. I was like, why is it that you don't make me feel ill? And she's like, because I don't need to. And I also don't make people feel ill. Interesting. She's like, unless they're spreading bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's interesting. But she apologized to Peggy, and after apologizing to Peggy, the medium lady named Lindy, the dog stopped barking in her face, and she went back down to a normal homeostatic temperature. There we go. Which is interesting. But yeah, I guess she's claimed to affect people's dreams. And I just want to keep saying, I know I've said Peggy a couple of times, but it's just because that's what people call her, and it annoys me. But anyways, I guess they think that she affects people's dreams because Harris has a story where a woman claimed that Peggy the doll visited her in her dreams, alerting her that her cat was sick. Unfortunately, the next morning, the cat was sick and it died that day. Do you think that was Peggy?
No.
No, it's weird.
I don't know what that was, or if it was something. Maybe it's just her, like the person having the dreams.
Like, I need to, listen to what this person said.
Because it was
Like, did you
Peggy.
see a doll just walk in there and be like, beep, bop, boop, bop?
Yeah,
Your
but
cat's gonna be sick.
it's not this doll. It's not like Margaret.
I don't know why. It's weird. It literally is like Boo Radley. Everything that's bad, they just put onto this person that they don't understand. Yeah. I really need to read How to Kill a Mockingbird so that I understand if I'm making this.
I have no idea. I've never watched it either or read it because also I was supposed to read it in school, but I didn't. I'm just really good at tests, you guys.
Yeah, so it's weird. And then I read another article called Zak Bagel Bites Possession. Lol.
Does it say Bagel Bites?
I wrote Bagel Bites.
Oh, you wrote that, so the article doesn't say that.
I really like it. Well, no, someone said yeah, you're right. It's the article that
I just wanted to know if someone else was like Zak Bagel Bites. This is the article title.
No, but I think if I write a blog, I might say that because I really just think it's hilarious.
However, if you write Zak Bagans, then it will actually rank in search instead of Bagel Bites.
Can I put it in there once? I mean, in the last...
You can, as long as you have Zak Bagans in it, because then ranking in search.
One of the last
keywords
podcasts that we put up, we talked about how every time I hear Bagel Bites, I really just think about putting the caricature features of Zak Bagans onto a drawn-out cartoon version of a bagel pizza bite.
That's going to be us in the future. People are going to be making memes about us, but instead of Bagel Bites, it will be I don't know.
Spoopy poopies.
Something to do with live.
Spoopy poopies.
Like the difference between live and live.
Jesus. So I wrote Zak Bagel Bites Possession because it's now the doll is now in his possession. So I guess the way I read it was that Jane Harris was convinced by Zak to give the doll to him. He was like, hey, I heard you got some spoopy poopy shit, and I
got this cool ass museum.
I'm looking to acquire it, which is hilarious. So she agreed, and they flew the doll, I put, across the pond. And Harris said that it was decided that the doll would be locked away in a cabinet with 24-hour video surveillance, and that is what they wanted.
Well, they want the surveillance so that people don't go in there and try to steal.
Probably.
Just like Robert the doll. Because people try to break into his glass box and steal him because he's haunted.
And now, since she has been put into Zak's museum, that's hilarious. Sorry, she made a joke about it being in a pageant and that it's not like a pageant. She's like, it's when a girl grows up, they think that they'll be next beauty queen, but now I'm in this shitty ass museum.
Yeah, it's very different than what an American Girl doll would be in.
Yeah, she wants breakfast at Tiffany's. I'm sorry, your museum is not shitty. It's not a shitty ass museum.
It's just odd to have this doll in there because the doll's like, I want to be in this beautiful, sophisticated, tea party type of thing.
Yeah.
But she's in a fun house, basically.
I'm sure it's not actually dirty, but it just looks dirty and it's not her vibe. Anyways, now guests are required to sign a waiver before seeing Peggy the Doll, Margaret. And
I think you have to sign a waiver to come into the museum. People were saying that you have to be 16 years or older to enter the museum.
But then we had someone in our comments say that they brought their cousin that was 13. So
I have no idea.
There was literally someone in our YouTube comments that's like, oh yeah, I went there with my cousin, or I think it was her little cousin or something. They're like, yeah, she was 13 or 14.
Maybe she looks really old for her age. I look like I'm 13 and I'm definitely not 13. Or am I? Lives 101.
I am. So I guess Zak Bagans was skeptical of the doll at first until they were filming an episode of Haunted Possessions where a manifestation of flies occurred. There was camera problems. He experienced negative mental effects of himself, on him, I guess. He had some bad mental vibes and general overall poltergeist activity. So they were like, we got this doll. It's super cool. We're going to film a video on Haunted Possessions. And now they're like, oh man, did you bring a fly swatter? What? We need more batteries for our camera. I feel angry. Did someone just throw that holy water? That's how I think the episode went. Did I watch it? No.
Sorry, she's talking to me. I see her just watching all this weird stuff happen around her. I'm sorry. It's not her. She's watching other things do it because of her.
Yeah, it's when what's her name from?
She's giving me that meme of when you have like the designers behind glass. Like, don't tap on the glass; it scares the designers. It's like she's like in a zoo, like a zoo exhibit, and things are happening like in front of her. Does that make sense? Like she's watching a zoo exhibit is what I should say.
Oh, they're the zoo exhibit?
Yeah, she's like, whoa, this is interesting.
Oh, I was thinking about like what is The Wizard of Oz, where they're in the tornado and there's just like the Wicked Witch on a bicycle.
Yeah.
And she's like,
this is interesting.
This is the tornado, and she's like on the outside watching a cow go around. You know?
Yeah, I just see her watching all of these other weird things do stuff. And she's like, oh, okay.
Weird.
This is where I'm at.
But once that happened, he was like, I believe it now. And he says that he believes, according to the internet says that he said that he believes every word the woman who allegedly suffered a heart attack after seeing Margaret, he believes every word that she says. And he goes as far to say that, quote, I've met many haunted dolls, including Robert the doll and Herod the doll, but none have ever affected me as bad as Peggy the doll.
Maybe because you have a haunted museum full of other things.
Well, this is where I put in bold, read the sentence after writing the disclaimer at the top, and I got a little spooked.
What do you mean?
Remember at the beginning, I was like, I've listened to other podcasts about like Herod the doll and Robert the doll, and they give PSAs because even if you're listening through something through your ear holes, you can be like haunted or something from them. But Peggy the doll literally says like the only disclaimer people have is don't look into her eyes, her beautiful eyes. Okay, well, Zak Bagans literally says, I've met haunted dolls, including Robert and Harold, but none of them have ever affected me as bad as Peggy the doll. So when I read that, and I was
my air is coming back on.
No, I know.
She looked at the lights flickering. It happens every time the air comes on.
I know, but I don't like it. It freaks me out.
Can't do anything about it.
That's okay. I'm just saying that before I read that sentence of that Peggy the doll is the most haunted of the two that I think people put disclaimers on about being affected even though they're not seeing, why is it that Peggy is only said to affect people if they see her?
I don't know.
But then he says it's the scariest one. It's scarier than Robert and Harold.
Why?
I don't know. According to him, there was like flies everywhere. I'd be upset if there was flies everywhere too.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to figure out what you mean by refer to the disclaimer again.
Yeah, I wrote that before I read that sentence. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Got you.
Weird. Anyways, so he goes on to say, or at least the internet says that he goes on to say, quote, Peggy is the type of haunted doll that will put your bravery to the test if you look at her or not. And there will be strict guidelines for those who choose to view her exhibit at the Haunted Museum, including signing releases. Literally says if you look at her or not, you're going to be fucked, my friend.
Or
and
not.
I wrote that before I read it.
What referred to the disclaimer?
Basically. All right. So while I was doing this, I noticed that my ears hurt less. And when I am perceiving souls, I do it. I know that I'm perceiving souls because my one ear will hurt. My right ear specifically, it just has like an aching feeling when I'm receiving information or I know that there's a presence in the room. Some people are like, I feel like there's someone standing next to me. And I was like, oh no, my ear's hurting. Let me see what that's about. And then I feel someone standing next to me. So
Is that your way of blocking things? Mm-hmm. Like your wall? And then you have to put the wall down so that you can, and then that kind of goes away. Mm-hmm. Yeah, got you.
Thank you.
That kind of stopped for me. But also You've just been
letting
things
open.
happening. Like when we were talking the other day and my thoughts literally got replaced with the tree's thoughts and I have no idea what I was talking about after that.
Yeah, it's a fun time. But I noticed that my ear hurts less when I call her Margaret. So if that's any consolation, at least to myself, I feel like Margaret is not her name and Peggy is a shit name to try and call her. It annoys me. And I think it annoys her if I am actually a medium, which people have been telling me that I am, so that's cool.
So that's cool. That's news to me.
And I wanted to know what kind of doll Margaret is. Like, what is her? Is there like a manufacturer or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you find something on her?
No, I couldn't. Every time you look at it.
Because they like have stuff on Robert the doll, but I guess he's very unique because he's There's only one of him. They only made one.
Well, they made the comment of that she was, and was my egotistical brain going down a rabbit hole of, they said that she reportedly, not reportedly, but like according to their metaphysical hunches, that she was linked to like the Holocaust and that she died in the 1940s, like 1946. I saw one of them, but I just put the 1940s because they all had different dates. Like none of them were consistent. So I was like, 40s is good. But World War II ended in 1945. And if she died from alleged respiratory issues, what if she was at a concentration camp?
Yeah.
So I don't know. They would do horrible things to people. And I'm sure whether or not you were tested or experimented on or were close to anything that happened at a concentration camp, you could have lifelong ailments that aren't just physical or mental, but like bodily. I know that's the same thing as physical, but I'm thinking like from doing hard work.
What does she look like?
She has like, they're telling me that they talked to a different woman.
Yeah.
Do you see a woman with brown
That's
hair
why
now?
I asked you what she looks like, because I was like, she doesn't look Jewish.
Do you see a woman with brown hair now, though? That's the Jewish woman. Why is she talking to people and saying that she's Peggy?
I don't know. But yeah, because I was asking her, I was like, this story makes no sense. And she was like, that's because it's not me. But you also are not going to trust me on that. So just ask Liv what I look like.
Because as soon as you said that, I saw somebody else.
Yeah, because I do not perceive her. She
has
doesn't look
blonde hair. Yeah, she looks like an all-American girl.
Yeah, she doesn't look Jewish. I was like,
or like
no one would
British.
find you in like a concentration camp because you have blonde hair. And she was like, yeah, that's why I asked her. I was like, okay. Yeah, sorry.
No, I just don't know who this brown-haired woman is. And now there's a scary thing on my left-hand side that's trying to like fuck with me. So I don't know what type of information I'm going to get.
Yeah, you don't know if the scary thing is lying to you.
Well, I see a woman with dark brown hair and it's straight and long on my left-hand side or on my right-hand side. But as soon as I started trying to get information about it, this weird thing in my left-hand side just came in and is like in my face trying to fuck up stuff.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't think she was in the Holocaust.
No.
So.
Interesting. I don't know who this woman with the brown hair is, though. Why would the mediums be talking to her?
Peggy's saying, or Margaret is saying, it's hard for them to
differentiate.
Focus down into one thing.
I can't hear anything from her. It's like quiet. There's just this weird thing on my left-hand side being obnoxious.
I don't know if this matters. I don't see her with straight hair.
When I said straight hair, they made me want to say curly.
Okay. Because I feel like this thing's making her look different, too. Like she's standing in front of her. Because I was like, I don't see the scary thing, but the way you're describing her, she very much has curly hair, and I can't see her with straight hair. So usually for me, I am not making that up. It's not my own thoughts. Yeah, she's really cute. I don't know who she is.
She's telling me that she has the same trauma as Margaret.
Got you.
That's why they call her Peggy, because she's the other person that has a fingerprint in the doll.
That's really cute.
Because Peggy is a nickname for Margaret, but Margaret isn't that person. I think she is the person that was from the Holocaust. I don't think she died from asthma, though. I think she died from, like, bad things.
Yeah.
Effects of being at a camp.
Yeah.
And she had a similar she says, I had the same thing happen to me as Margaret did while I was at the camp.
Yeah.
But yeah, she has like short hair and it's curly.
Yeah, she looks very different than this Margaret woman that we've been talking to the whole time.
God, I can't talk about this. It's too much for me.
I know. This whole podcast, I was like, oh my God, because she's telling me things about her business, like overwhelmingly like proud of what we're doing because we are giving you the other side of all of the paranormal and spiritual stuff because people just cloud it with other things.
I was looking up hairstyles of women from Germany during World War II, and because I wanted to see if the blonde bob that Peggy the Doll has is consistent, and it wasn't. And she keeps showing me the picture that I saw of a woman with their hair curled and put up in like one of those sort of like triangular army hats type things. And that's what she's showing me. Oh, it makes me so sad.
Yeah.
But they're like, it's not sad. We're just another fingerprint on the doll to help other people that are like us. I don't understand why they have to have a doll, though. They just keep telling me that I don't need to understand why. I just need to say what I'm saying.
Yeah, because what you're saying is the thing that's making an impact for people. Because the reason why they're telling me about our business together is that we are going to spread this to help other people. Because they're showing me, there's this episode in Grey's Anatomy where this girl is sexually assaulted, and they remove all of the men from the hospital, and they have all of the women standing there while she walks down to support her. And we're those people.
I can't cry on a podcast again. People aren't going to believe us, though.
I know.
They're going to be like, these girls are traumatically weird whatevers that think that they can talk to ghosts, and this isn't consistent with fucking Peggy the Doll. Who the fuck is Margaret? And why is there another weird brown-haired lady? This doesn't make any sense.
Because one woman's voice isn't going to do anything. It's the group of all of us that will do it.
I can't deal with it today.
And it's happening now because of all this shit that's happening.
Oh.
Yep. And if you guys don't know the shit, we live in the U.S. That's all I'm going to say about it, because I hate it.
Okay, I'm going to try not to cry. I'll cry later. Bradley will be like, why are you upset? And I'm going to be like, I had to relive things today.
Yeah, they were telling me about that earlier. And I was like, don't cry. I have no idea what you're saying, because I'm trying not to cry, because the way what you're telling me is, this is so important for us to tell people, because it's going to allow people to have support. And this is exactly why I want to do this business, is to create support for people.
Yeah, I know. That's why we did this. Okay. I'm just going to leave that there, because it's really all I can deal with now. So do with that what you will. Maybe we'll revisit it later, but today is not the day for me and him. And I feel like we should just do the last person by themselves and just make it like an extra, maybe, because they don't need to be put in this video or this podcast. The Hoffbed.
Oh, the Hoffbed, yeah. Where are we at in this video?
An hour and 2 minutes.
I figured.
So I'll probably cut out a lot, because I'm very bad at talking about things when they're written down. But yeah, we're not going to put the other guy.
No, don't cut out the words you say. Just cut out the spaces in between.
Oh, no, I will.
Okay, cool. Because it's so unbelievably genuine. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm not a fake person, and neither are you, so that's
well,
why
yeah,
we're
but
together.
There's a difference between when we are prepared to talk about things versus when it is happening, like a reaction.
We literally
and that's
had
what this
somebody
podcast is.
on YouTube tell us that we're so fake because when we were doing our reaction video they
think it's scripted.
No. It's not that they thought that it was scripted. They were like, you guys are so fake because nothing that you're saying is matching up what's actually happening in the museum. And you guys can't even agree with yourselves. So if you at least want to come off as being real, you should have a script so that at least your stories can match.
Got you.
And I was like, that is the opposite of what we do and also why we do what we do.
And also, a lot of people like to come at us because they're like, you're seeing different things than this medium within this video. And it's like,
yes,
because we're different people. If I showed you a picture, you might be focusing on the mountains in the picture. I might be focusing on the little house in the picture. Liv might be focusing on the lake in the picture.
It's all about perspective, and all mediums' abilities are different. One may be greater than the other in different facets or as a whole, but that doesn't make them not a medium. It's just
yeah, because people keep coming at us and are like, you're invalidating Amanda. And I'm like, we are not trying to do that at all. Amanda is valid in her gifts. We are not trying to invalidate people, especially the people we're trying to react to. We are just showing you what we see our vision or our perspective of things.
One person literally was like, you guys make this video better. And I said, thank you, because it's very nerve-wracking to make a reaction video to somebody who's so well known and very well, like, excellent at what they fucking do. So for us to react to it, we don't want to make a fucking epic video shitty with our input. We want to complement it. We want to enhance it. So for you to say that we enhanced their video with our perspective is literally the biggest compliment that you could give us. So anyways, I don't know where we're going with this. I'm losing my mind. But yeah, we're going to put the next one in the other one. Sorry, we started out with saying that we were going to put 2 in this one, but
Liv didn't think that she had that much information.
Yeah. I feel better though. So that's good.
Yeah, it's really cute. I didn't think I would get information from her. Because this is a lot for me.
We should put in this thingy though really quick. So let me put in uno momento, por favor. Eine Minute bisschen. I apologize. It's not bisschen, it's bitte. Eine Minute bitte. Anyways, since we talked about these things and I didn't think that we were going to talk about these things, here is the RAIN or National Sexual Assault Telephone Hotline in case you need this. It is 800-656-HOPE. So that is, again, 800-656-4673. Because if anything happened to you that is related to that, call somebody because you're not alone. Or you can listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
So now we're going to talk to our lovely patrons because without you guys, our viewers, podcast subscribers, commenters, and everything else, this wouldn't be possible. And we appreciate all of you dearly. Whether you give us money or just enjoy our content.
Yeah, a part of our little community of PsycKicks.
So we have Kate.
Cassie. No! God. She put it on the button, you guys.
Oh, goodness.
Cassie.
Joanne.
Charlie.
Keisha.
Marie.
Helen.
Lily.
Desiree.
Jessica.
Natalie.
What did you say before? Forsee
Miriam.
Miriam.
Alec.
2.
Gianna.
Sarah.
90.
Zoe.
Amanda.
Alexis.
Tristan.
Kay.
Stephanie.
Bubselina.
Shantae.
Amy.
Tuna.
Izzy.
Clara.
Katrin.
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 I think. Dominique.
Okay. Super. Why do I always get this one? Super
Because-
Aru?
It's because you're a weeb, and I think you,
You
know
are
where it
a
comes
weeb.
from.
Aru?
I have no idea. Alexa.
Caitlin, sorry.
Gatkatsi.
Shareholder.
Itzel.
Sophia.
Bria.
Katie.
Leanne.
Jacob.
Karen.
Bees.
Buzz. Brittany.
Kendall.
Amy.
Shandy.
Riley.
Nakaya.
Sherry.
Christina.
Anita.
Katie.
Charles.
Holly.
Krista.
Flo.
Malake.
Page 2. Because she
Sorry,
went to
I
page 3.
Korean.
Clover. Sorry.
Clover. I think it's Clover. Clover. I think it's Clover.
Clover?
It makes me think about like an old 1920s, late 1800s, like murder mystery.
I have no idea.
You know, like Professor Clover.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Miana,
Lillian.
Janelle,
Salma.
Salma's a super fucking sick name, by the way. I think it's also a really old name, like Clover. They should like start a paranormal investigation team and call themselves like cool things. Anyways, Jay,
Lorica.
Misty,
Cassandra.
Catherine,
Erica.
Brianna,
Kristen.
Kima,
Kylie. Kaylee.
I think it's Kaylee because
Okay.
the E makes the A a long or a hard A.
Okay.
I don't know. My ADHD brain hung on to that in like 3rd grade. Catherine,
Samantha.
Caitlin,
Christy.
Beatrice,
Vicky.
Jacqueline,
Erica.
Ian,
Vanessa.
McKenna,
Shannon.
Cindy,
Kaylee.
Mev,
Rainika.
Trinity,
Avery.
Cass,
Anthony.
Violet,
Peyton.
Allie,
Mac.
Josie,
Autumn.
Sias, Laurel,
Brianna.
Finding the right person for the job isn't easy. Just ask someone who hired a stuntman to do their home renovations.
Just finished a new sunroom, Mrs. C. The best part is I used candy glass for all the windows, so you can do this. And this. Doesn't hurt a bit either.
But if you've got an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can bundle your policies, which could save you hundreds.
And if you don't want to take the long way to the kitchen, the walls are breakaway too. See?
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.
You already know the fun of Kings Island. Blue ice cream for lunch, catching your breath between screams on the beast. But this summer at Kings Island, this is 50. Don't miss their 50th anniversary celebration all summer long with new shows, new food, and new fun. It's Kings Island's biggest summer yet. And now through August 14th, Kings Island is turning up the excitement with a daily 50 Years of Fun street party. It features dancers, music, and more, commemorating the last 50 years. Make plans today at visitkingsisland.com.
Nate,
Bradley.
Sandy,
Nas.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Thank
Malaki.
you for Malaki.
He always
has
ends
to be yeah.
He's the first one ever.
Uh-huh.
He probably forgot that it exists.
Uh-huh. Ibby, you're supposed to be on here. You were number 2, but
Ibby, are you actually listening to this?
No, she misplaced her debit card and then had to get a new one.
Misplaced it.
Yeah. I told her it was somewhere in the car,
interesting.
like in between the seat, and it wasn't in between the seat that we thought it was. And then 3 days later, after she canceled it, it was in between the seat of the seat that we didn't look at.
Wow.
So when your friend's a psychic medium, but also has the directionality of being in a paper bag.
Yeah, it's true. Every time you get in a car, it's a mystery if we'll get there or not. Whoa.
Oh. Thanks for joining us on our weird, awkward journey. I'm going to have an interesting time editing this. It's
probably going to cry again.
Oh, for sure. This is like the 3rd or 4th podcast I've cried in. I cry all the time.
Yeah.
I'm an emotional wreck.
But this one is like, for both of us, triggering.
Yeah, it's really weird. I wonder
it's
what they're
important.
going to do. I really hope that they listen to it. I mean, whether you think we're crazy or not, you should at least make her room look like breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about, like, what we actually think it is.
Think what is?
They're like, you didn't answer the question. They're probably going to say, you didn't answer the question of why these bad things happen to these people. And I think it's because of
the fear of being in this museum, of holding your breath. This is what you said in the video, is that people are passing out because they've been holding their breath this long and they've gotten this far. So
yeah, but that doesn't explain why that woman was experiencing such horrible things.
Well, I thought it was because they were clairsentiently picking it up in the doll. What do you think?
Oh, of all of the horribleness.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't want them spreading rumors about things that aren't true.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Because that's what she was telling me.
Okay, I guess we did answer it. If people have questions, you know how to get a hold of us. It's in
However,
the
you
show
did
notes.
tell me to remind you about the room full of dolls and the ventriloquist doll that wants to bite your nose off.
Oh, yeah. No, it's too long. It's an hour and 12 minutes. We can talk about that asshole in another one.
Okay, we can do it in the Dennis Hasselhoff podcast. Because I'm sure we're going to need another podcast for something.
I'm sure. If not, bonus. Okay, bye, guys. We're your mad PsycKicks.
We're not crying, you're crying.
I'm an emotionally emotionally compromised
teenage girl.
Sasuke. And I need foreplay when I cry, and I also
I need foreplay when I cry.
And I also need to sit in a corner and just have a good cry with an ice cream cone.
Gosh.
Okay.
Okay.